never seen anything quite like this.
Russian actors and other actors pretending to be Black activists, Black people.
To do the digital blackface and harass Black people, like, y'all really know no bounds.
Highly coordinated and deeply networked.
They removed almost 1.6 billion fake accounts.
You will not replace us!
Digital blackface is a phenomenon that involves white people, usually white nationalists and white supremacists, creating fake online profiles portraying themselves as a Black person. These profiles are often used to perpetuate racist narratives, incite division, or manipulate public opinion. Digital blackface stems from blackface, which is basically a white person painting their skin black to imitate the rich hue of Black people and mocking them, portraying them not as the beautiful people that they were, but in degrading ways. You may have encountered a comment on social media and question if a Black person actually wrote it. Many of these digital blackface accounts start with the phrase, "as a Black person, ... announcing their supposed Blackness before making a statement. In 2020, Twitter, now X, deleted countless digital blackface accounts claiming to be Trump supporters.
What's called digital blackface. They were stealing the images from real Black Americans, from news stories and from other places on the web, and using those images to represent themselves inauthentically. It was a real astounding number of retweets very quickly, using a lot of common language, a lot of common messaging.
In 2016, The Independent reported that white supremacists were planning to flood Twitter with fake Black people accounts in response to their new anti-hate policy. These racists were so determined to spew their hate to the world that they created imposter accounts pretending to be Black people. Because it couldn't be considered hate speech if the hateful language about Black people was seemingly coming from another Black person. These fake accounts used to be incredibly obvious. No longer are they using accounts with blank profile pictures and zero posts. They are stealing actual Black people's photos and posting them, even sharing photos of their families. The man in this profile picture was completely unaware that his photo was used for a fake account until CNN reached out to him. Other imposters are creating images using AI technology. Andrew Aglin of the neo-Nazi website Daily Stormer told his readers, "When you have time, create a fake Black person account. Just go on Black Twitter and see what they look like. Copy that model. Start filling it with rap videos and booty shaking or whatever else these Blacks post." These accounts make comments perpetuating the stereotypes of Black people and to sway collective thoughts of the Black community. Many of their conversations and comments are attempts at widening the gap between Africans and African Americans, creating animosity between Black women and Black men, and denouncing the need for African Americans to receive reparations. They're also flooding Snapchat, Instagram, YouTube, and many other platforms with this rhetoric. During the 2016 presidential election, there were reports of individuals, including some Trump supporters, posing as Black people and minorities on social media. Their goal was to convince the Black community that Trump had the support of the majority of Black voters. They would go to popular spaces like the Shade Room and say, "I'm Black and I'm a Trump supporter," to make it appear as if he had a large backing from the Black community.
That there's still Russian actors and other actors pretending to be Black activists, Black people, basically said that they were using Black culture, Black identity to basically suppress the vote.
After Elon Musk took control of Twitter, he lifted the ban on hate speech and the racists began to openly tweet again, but many continue their fake accounts. Bots are also programmed to spread racialized misinformation, and many are being made to target social media platforms.
So if you were wondering just how deep and far you could push fake accounts on Facebook, who has billions of users, they removed almost 1.6 billion fake accounts.
Individuals are also targeted by people they know anonymously. Samantha Markle, Meghan Markle's half-sister, created several different profiles online to present herself as different people, to leave racist and derogatory comments under posts about her. Experts discovered that she teamed up with a group of other middle-aged white women to demean Meghan daily.
These are housewives. These are middle-aged Caucasian women creating just constant attacks from go back to America to basically, why don't you die? They were actively recruiting people, telling people how to create multiple accounts, how to use VPNs, virtual private networks, to hide the IP so they don't get suspended. It's insane. 70% of the hateful content came from just 83 accounts. And they had a reach of 17 million people. Samantha Markle was part of the group that was putting out a lot of this disinformation.
This raises the question of how many people are teaming up to spew hate to Black people daily, especially Black leaders who are fighting police brutality, racism, and systematic oppression. Digital blackface is also used by non-Black people simply for their enjoyment. Under a fake identity, they get to partake in the culture and speak as a Black person. Streaming chats are also filled with users using digital blackface. People are also profiting from digital blackface. Some of you may be familiar with the Daquan Instagram controversy. The account features a Black teen as his profile picture, has 15 million followers, and posts funny videos to appeal to a Black audience, Gen Zers and millennials. It was initially owned by a Black teen, but a company called IMGN bought it and continued to post content as if they were the Black teen. Barack Gray was the co-founder and CEO for years before it was sold to Warner Music Group for $85 million. Black people were shocked when they learned Daquan was run by a company. Another form of digital blackface is used by non-Black people who create AI models on social media like this one. Companies actually pay the creator of the blackface character, which is a white man in this case, to promote their brand on social media.
I think it's super messed up that there are actual Black women models who would be happy to star in these campaigns, but instead brands are picking virtual Black models where none of that money goes to Black people. The fact that we exist in a world where it's okay for a man who is white to make a virtual Black woman and then profit off that virtual Black woman, to me, is the story.
Yeah.
That says it all.
Yeah.
And it makes me angry and uncomfortable that that is still the case and that people are like, yeah, this is a really good choice, let's work with you.
There are theories suggesting that several government entities have employed fake profiles to introduce narratives and sway public opinion on controversial issues. These tactics not only undermine the voices of real individuals, but it also distorts the political landscape.
These are accounts that are created by a number of states, not just Saudi Arabia, Egypt, and the UAE, but created by a lot of countries around the world in order to try to propagate a narrative or push a narrative or to increase the number of likes and retweets to tweets that are in favor of a particular regime over another.
Before digital blackface, there was a filter that was called a jive filter in the 1980s. It would translate white speech or standard American English into jive talk, which was basically what some white people believed African American vernacular and slang to be. This was used for the entertainment of white people and to fulfill some sort of curiosity and fascination they had with the way Black people spoke, and obviously to poke fun at our unique dialect. However, as you may have guessed, the jive talk filter was not an accurate portrayal of how Black Americans spoke. The term digital blackface has roots that began with Adam Clayton Powell. He coined the term high-tech blackface in 1999 when he shed light on the stereotyping of Black characters in video games. Joshua Lumpkin is often credited with creating the actual term digital blackface in his book in 2006. Laura Michelle Jackson applied the term to non-Black people's excessive use of Black reaction gifs in a 2017 Teen Vogue article. It highlighted how some non-Black people's excessive use of gifs stems from them viewing Black people's personalities as dramatic or animated, only viewing us as caricatures and not people. I'm not saying white people shouldn't use Black gifts. I just ask, if you are non-Black, only have non-Black friends, and never support Black movements, why do you mostly use Black gifts? You may unknowingly be playing into the historical notion that white people only want to incorporate Black people into their lives for comic relief or entertainment, never in a real, authentic way. Some non-Black people's excessive use of gifts can be seen as another way of mocking us, like minstrel shows were designed to. Minstrel shows in blackface originated in Europe with plays like Othello. European immigrants brought the genre over to the US in the 19th century. During this time, Black people were enslaved. Actor T.D. Rice popularized blackface in America. He wasn't a standout in the acting world, so he decided to paint himself Black and mock Black people. He reportedly got the idea when he was touring the country with a troupe of actors. He saw an old Black man singing as he groomed a horse on the property of a man whose last name was Crow. He decided to melt cork to paint his face black, steal the song the old man was singing, added lyrics, and performed it at the theater. Segregation laws known as Jim Crow laws were later named after this character. He reportedly received 20 encores. Blackface quickly became the most popular form of entertainment in the country. This reveals the mindset of the average American during this time, and you see how deeply ingrained in American culture it is to degrade Black people. These shows help to create negative stereotypes that exist to this day, and explains why some white Americans don't take issue with this gross performance style. Minstrel shows died out around the 1920s, but the stereotypes continued in films. And since white Americans usually had limited interaction with Black people, they believed the imagery in films accurately portrayed us, with no factual basis. Some researchers believe blackface was enjoyed because it satisfied a combination of several emotions within white Americans: envy, desire, fascination, and fear. Fear that Black people would rise up and take power. So to keep us at the bottom class, they ridiculed us, demeaned us, and oppressed us. To participate in digital blackface is in many ways psychotic. White nationalists are using racialized disinformation and digital blackface out of fear of losing power to Black people. They don't want Black people to rise in society, and they have this irrational fear that they will be replaced by Black people. This is their motivation for their online obsession. So what do we do to counter this? If you suspect that an account is actually a digital blackface account, screenshot the profile picture and reverse search it through Google Images. You can see if it's a stock photo or if it was stolen from someone else's social media. And if it is a fake account, report it. Or you can simply call it out without engaging in an argument. This alerts others to its likely fraudulent nature. If negative comments about Black people appear under your posts, delete them, especially if you have many followers. Engaging with such comments can attract more attention and reinforce harmful messaging. Also, avoid debate, as logic won't prevail against racialized hate. Be skeptical of online identities. Don't trust that social media personas reflect reality. Instead, spread positive political and social messaging about Blackness to counter the negativity. Share accurate information. The ancestors are on our side, which is why the truth always eventually comes to light, just like with digital blackface. As Kendrick Lamar said, we gonna be all right. Black History Month is coming up. Prepare your kids. It is the best thing you can do for your child is to give them their history. So check out my ebook. It's written on a 7th grade reading level, and it is also great for you. It's great for kids and adults. Go to the link in the description if you're interested. And leave a comment. Have you noticed anything strange online? Let me know. All right. Peace and blessings.